Hi friends, welcome to Tabletop Tonight. I'm Ruel Gaviola, and today I'm reviewing the games that I played last month. So this is January 2nd, 2023. I'm recording this live on Twitch with all my friends in Twitch. If you'd like to watch the next one, I do this at the start of each month over on my Twitch channel. So here on YouTube, we edit stuff down, but you know what? I'm going to continue talking to the audience, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to join us live next time. So I played 22 games last month. Sort of a slower month just because of the holidays, and I was actually at PAX Unplugged at the start of the month, thanks to our friends at Wise Wizard Games and Board Game Spotlight. And the holidays for me tend to be a little more hectic, especially we had some plumbing issues in the house that we were finally resolving. But so it was a lighter month of gaming. So we're going to jump right into it. My number 22 game played this month was Mantis, and I played this at PAX Unplugged. Our friend Aaron, Game Enthuse, taught it to us. This was a game I had no expectations. I had never heard of it. I do follow the Oatmeal though, so I do love those characters. And this one was a fun little push your luck set collection game. Really, beautiful, cute art, which is from the artist of the Oatmeal. Basically, what you're doing is you have this deck of cards with all the different types of mantis, or is it manti or mantis? I don't know. But what's the plural of mantis? Drop in the comments. Let me know what it is. You're trying to match colors, and you're going to start with a few in your hand, like this. And then there's the deck is face down, but you're going to see there on the deck, it's going to give you sort of a hint as what's coming. Like it's going to be like red, blue, purple, or whatever. And of course, thankfully they have colorblind friendly icons there. So if I had a couple of like yellow cards, I want to try to draw a yellow card. If I know that it's there, I can say, okay, I think it's going to be a yellow card. I flip it over. If it's yellow, then all the yellows in my tableau, I get scored. Or I can go to another player's, like if I don't have any yellows there, maybe I can go match like a red one on them, then I can steal it. If I don't, then they get the card. So it's really simple, but surprisingly fun. I would totally play this again. And you know what? I bought a copy. That's how good it was. They had a special. I saw it. I think it might have been BGG or maybe somewhere on Twitter or something. Someone had mentioned, hey, for one day only, Exploding Kittens, the makers of this game. It's Exploding Kittens, right? Let's go to BGG page. Yep, Exploding Kittens is the name of the company that publishes it. For one day only, they had it free. It was normally $20. You just had to pay for shipping. So I got a copy for $7 shipping. Perfectly fine. I will totally play this again. It's a gateway style game, plays in 10 minutes or less. It's fun. Push your luck game. That's why it's on number 22, Mantis. All right, moving right along. Let's see. Oops, I'm pressing wrong buttons. Moving right along. Number 21 is Nana. Nana. This is a game that my friend Jin gifted to me. Very kind of him. Jin got a bunch of games from Korea brought in, and this is one of them. Apparently, I had no idea what this is. He just surprised me. He's like, hey, Ruel, I think you'll like this. And Jin, you were right. I had a lot of fun with this. This is a lighter game. It's basically a gamer's version of the old concentration game, the memory game. If you see here on the screen, you'll see a tableau, a market of cards in the middle. Those are all face down. You set up your cards like this, and you see the pictures in ascending order. It's a random, 1 through 11 or whatever. You'll have duplicates of some numbers. But what you're trying to do is get 3 sets. So a set is any 3 numbers of the same. So for example, number 1, if I had 3 number 1, boom, I have a set of 1s. You're trying to be the first to get 3 sets of any number. But here's the thing. You set your numbers in ascending order in your hand. You don't show anyone. You can only play your highest or lowest card per turn. And you can either ask someone to do that, or you can do it yourself. So I can say, I'm going to play my lowest number 1, right, out of my hand. Then I can say, hey, Michelle, you play the lowest card out of your hand. If it's a number 1, I get it. And then if I can go to the market in the middle, I can flip over a card. If that's number 1, then I've collected that set. If it doesn't match, everything goes back to the owner. So the market goes back face down. Michelle gets her number 1 back or whatever, and then I get my number 1 back. And then you just keep going and until someone's got 3 sets. The concentration part in the middle is interesting because those get flipped back down, so you have to remember where things are, which knowing my memory, if you know my memory, it's not that great. But it's a really neat twist where if you can get the number 7, like the actual number 7, the set of 3 number 7s, you just automatically win. And then there's another cool part. If you can get 2 sets that equal 7, you also win. So if I had a set of 10s and a set of 3s, 10 minus 3 is 7, I win. Or if I had a set of 5s and a set of 2s, 5 plus 2 is 7, I win. Really interesting game. Apparently it's all the rage in Japan right now. This is the Korean edition, but it's sort of got that not micro game, but smaller card game feel to it. I really enjoy it. Yeah, we have Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Nicole says, again, here we're recording this live on Twitch, folks. If you're watching us on YouTube, join us on Twitch every month where I do this, and you can participate. Nicole says, sounds perfect for game schooling. Yeah, absolutely. This one would be great for game schooling. You know, I volunteer at a local high school, once a month and do a game day. This game is in my bag for the next game day that I'm going to host, because I think this will play perfect for younger gamers or gamers who are new to the hobby. So that's my number 21, Nana. I don't know why it's called Nana. I don't know if it's a translation thing. I think Nana, I think like grandma, but yeah, it has nothing to do with grandmas. It's just a number game. So a lot of fun, very light, light card game with that whole concentration or memory element to it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Where is my number 20? Is the game Quick and Easy. Have y'all played the game before? The game is, let me see, is this it? No, that's not it. Now I've lost, there it is. Nope, that's not it. Oh, look, I'm showing all the stuff that's supposed to be coming out. Okay, I'm just going to do it right now live. The game Quick and Easy. Boom. If you played the game, you've played the game Quick and Easy. Quick and Easy just takes out, so in the game it's like numbers 1 through 100. It's a cooperative game. You're trying to go up from 1 to 100 and then back down 100 to 1, different piles. This strips it down to the numbers 1 through 10. Super fast version of the game. I just prefer it. It's faster to set up. It's just as fun as the game, and it's way fewer cards, and it's just as difficult. It is not easy. I played this at PAX Unplugged with, I believe, Razor. Did we play it together? And Linnaeus Cabal, and I forget who else. Oh my gosh! But had a great time. I was very impressed by this. Actually, I like the game. I actually like the mind. I've liked the mind a lot. The game a little less, but I think I like the game Quick and Easy even better than it. Not quite there as the mind. The mind I think is just so unique. But yeah, I really like it. Oh, speaking of, we were just talking about Nana. Heroic Logic here in chat. I just learned something. Nana is 7 in Japanese. So there it is. We were talking about Nana. That's why it was called that. Thank you, friend. Appreciate that. So we have learned. Yeah, so we did play a 3-player game. Loved it. I think we played it a couple of times, actually. So quick and easy, and if you like the game, I would recommend the game Quick and Easy. All right, let's move on to our number 19 game. It is Diamonds, 2nd edition. This is a game that I played before, and I'm going to show you here on screen. This is an old school. We did this a couple of years ago, Michelle, Lauren, and I. This is a trick-taking game. One of my favorites, actually, and I played this at PAX U. This is an older video, but you have, it's standard trick-taking. The numbers are 1 through 15 for 4 different suits. But what's really neat, every time you play a suit, whoever wins a trick, that suit triggers an ability. So you're trying to get these little diamonds, actual like little physical diamonds, into your vault. The vault is like this little cardboard, shield. You have them in front. That's called the showroom. So some abilities, some suits will tell you put one from the general supply in front of your showroom. Another one, I think it's the clubs. You take clubs you can steal from someone's showroom. The diamonds, you just get a diamond straight into your showroom. And finally, the hearts. The hearts give you one. And then, it's the spade. The spade, I think you dig and you place it behind your shield. So basically, anything that goes into your vault or behind the shield is worth 2 points. Anything outside of it, just 1 point. So you're really trying to get into the vault. And it's just through standard trick taking. The highest, the diamonds are... not the Trump, but yeah, they're like, I think they're the Trump suit, I forget. But what's neat is at the end of each round, whoever has the most of each suit, they once again trigger the suit's ability. So if I have the most diamonds, I just straight take a diamond. If I have the most clubs, then I can, club some over the head and take one of their diamonds from their showroom if they have any. Wonderful trick-taking game by Mike Fitzgerald. He's done a bunch of trick-taking games, a few trick-taking games, I think. This one, and then, well, I just know Mike Fitzgerald from one of my all-time favorite deck-building games, Baseball Highlights 2445. So that is Diamonds, my number 19. And let me take a quick sip. Ben asks, do you know what the difference is between the editions? No. So in the video here, if you're watching, folks, this is the first edition that we had. I don't know the difference. I played the second edition at PAX U. I honestly could not tell the difference. I don't know if it was just, maybe the card designs. I totally forgot. But yeah. Oh, Narbar, yeah, there it is. Mike Fitzgerald, also known for the Mystery Rummy series, which I haven't played yet. I need to play those games. Those are great. Okay, let's move on. I want to say hi to R.A. Matney. Thank you, friend. Happy New Year. Good to see you. We're reviewing my 22 games that I played in December. We're on number 19. We're moving right along to 18. It is Cat in the Box, the Deluxe Edition. Now, this one, here's Monique and Naveen from Before We Play. They're explaining it there. This one, I feel like it's going to really shoot up the rankings for me. I've played 2 games, and both games, the first game I played wrong at Gen Con. I had a couple of rules wrong. The second time, though, at PAX U, played it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And what I like is the fact that it's a trick-taking game with no suits. Like, you have to determine the suits of the cards. I think it's so interesting. And then there's, like, at the end of the round, there's this, like, spatial puzzle where if you can connect it, you're going to get points based on that. It's so good. It was all the rage at Gen Con, totally sold out. I saw a bunch of people playing at PAX U as well. I think the reason why it hasn't really shot right up to the rankings for me, I'm still getting my head wrapped around it, and I think it's gonna it probably won't make it that high, only because it's a tough game to bring to newcomers. Like, trick takings, I think it's a challenge as it is to explain to new gamers, and I like to play a lot of games with new gamers. That's my jam, and I think this one I would stay away from that for new gamers. But gamers like yourselves who are watching this, highly recommend Cat in the Box. It's gonna get a bunch. I think it's gonna get some awards. Starting when the award season comes around next year, because it is really fun. It's such an interesting take on trick taking, and that's why it's getting all the acclaim, and that's why it's my number 18, played in December. I want to say hi to Slivers. Hello, welcome. And Ben, yeah, I need to play some Mystery Rummy as well. Brad Board Gaming says he'll pick this up at PAX. Huge tricking game. Oh yeah, if you're a huge trick-taking game fan, folks, highly recommend. And it's good. It's good. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, like Norfolk. Yeah, no suits. Birthday suits. I don't know. Let's move on to my number 17, played last month. The Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. Here's Rahdo's video playing it. This is Castle of Burgundy, the roll and write. Play this with Linnaeus, and I think also Razor at PAX Unplugged. I forgot how much I like this game. I mean, I love Castles of Burgundy. Are y'all like me? Are you all excited about the big deluxe version that we totally overpaid for, but it's going to be totally worth it? If you are, the roll and write game is fantastic. It's a quick version. It really gives you the feel of Burgundy without all the big setup, but with a much shorter time. And it's just neat to... I always love chucking dice in different ways, and this is a different way to do Burgundy. I mean, Burgundy is a dice game, of course, with tile lane, but this one I prefer over the card game. I like the card game, but, a lot of people always talk about the card game. Like, that card game takes way more room than the actual board game. And like that point, you might as well just play the board game, right? But the dice game, it's very compact, very quick. It's a Euro-style roll and write. Love it. Legends says, maybe one day I'll play Legends. Next time we meet up, we need to play it. I love it at 2 players. Folks, if you don't follow me on the socials or find me on Board Game Arena, at Ruel Gaviola. I play games all the time there now, so I always have a game of Castle of Burgundy and Lost Cities going. Those are two of my favorites to play on BG. I would love to play. I prefer Castle of Burgundy at 2. Likewise, well, I played the dice game at 4 players. You're pretty much just doing your own thing, so you can play it 4 without adding too much time to it. So I really do enjoy it. So I recommend it. And I don't know if I'd recommend it just as a roll and write per se. There's better roll and writes, but I just think as a fan of Castle of Burgundy, you have to have this in your collection. If you want that feel of Castle of Burgundy in like 30 minutes, and you just don't have the space or time to set up, get the dice game, folks. All right. Moving right along to my number 16 from December. Again, I played 22 games last month. Number 16 is Circus Flohcati. Now, this is the one. Oh, here's another Castle Burgundy. Why did I have that? Okay. These are our friends over there at Board Game Geek Game Night playing it. This is an older Reiner Knizia game. It's out of print here in the U.S. I was talking about my buddy Jin earlier. Not only did he give me Nana, but he also gifted me Circus Flohcati, a push your luck set collection game by the master, the good doctor, Reiner Knizia. You're just flipping cards over, sort of like that game Push, if you ever played that push your luck game. But once you get, I've played this a couple times and my mind's blanking. You're trying to collect sets of the different, they're like fleas, right? And then if you can get similar sets, you're building those sets. And then if you have an entire set of all the different colors or numbers, or no colors, then I forget what it's called. Is it like the Grand Circus or something? And you get points for that. So you get points per set. And then the cards that are left over in your hand, this is interesting. The cards that are left over in your hand, if you have like, say, a 4, 5, 6 of like red, you're going to score the highest one, number 6. So it's very Reiner Knizia, right? You can have the same, but you're only going to score one of those sets. So that adds to the scores. Really cool game. Here's the thing. I was talking about this game, and someone from 25th Century Games dropped in and gave a big hint that I can't say it officially, but according to the hint from the people at 25th Century Games, they're going to be reprinting a new edition of this. And I'm a huge fan of 25th Century Games, just like I am of Reiner Knizia. You get those two together, I'm all for it. So, Circus Flohcati, folks, I need to play this more, but it is already ranked number 16 because I love Knizia. Again, the rule book's like, 2 pages long, and you play it in like 10, 15 minutes. It's really easy to get to the table. Really great push your luck game. Okay, I'm going to hydrate real quick. And we're going to move on to my number 15 played game in last month is Star Realms. I played a bunch of Star Realms because, this is actually Michelle and myself. Michelle and I playing Star Realms, the Rise of Empire Kickstarter that they just completed late last year. It is a campaign game, very cool legacy game. I like this more than Michelle. We're both Star Realms fans, but I'm a huge Star Realms fan. I always have like 3 or 4 games going on the app on the phone with friends, or I'll play the AI or whatever. But PAX Unplugged, I was very fortunate. Wise Wizard Games brought me out there. I got to, hang out. They had me, as a guest. But I got to play Star Realms with a bunch of people. I played with Linus, played with Suffering Razor. I played with all kinds of people. Played with Giggles and Deadpan. And, it was great to see all y'all at PAX Unplugged and get to play one of my favorite deck building games. Was a real treat. This is a really quick deck building game, 1v1. You can play more players, but honestly, it's a 1v1 game. But the thing I like about this most, it reminds me a little bit of Dominion, where you have that time that point in the game where Dominion, you're like, okay, when do I go from just trying to get money to buy new cards to flipping it over to just going for victory points, right? And this has a similar thing, but it's just everything is quicker, and it's got that instead of a static like base of cards to buy from, this is constantly changing, right? The market fluctuates, and you have certain cards that come in. Yes, it may be a little more luck based, but depending on what's drawn, I'm okay with it because it's a 20-minute game. But I do love that. When do you start getting rid of your money cards or trying to trash cards and going for like the kill, which is usually with the blobs, right? The blobs are the green ones have the most combat. But I love it. I will always have the copy of this game in my collection. It's an evergreen for me. Okay, and yeah, as Ben says, this is one of those games that is really easy to keep in your backpack or your quiver. But yeah, back in cons, it's just an easy one to get to the table, and yeah, I totally do the same thing, Ben. All right, let's move on to my number 14 for December. It is Dice Miner. I got to play this at PAX U. A lot of my games were gameplays at PAX U. I got to play it with the Sovereignty crowd. I want to thank Danny for hosting the event for me and having me be the guest there, where I got to play Dice Miner and teach it to a bunch of people, including one of our regular viewers here, Brian. Such a great dice drafting game. Set collection, dice drafting. Really, I mean, I love it. I really enjoy it. So I've played it at all player counts. I enjoy it. I've also played it on Sovereignty, their app. It's really a really good, nice implementation of the game. But you know what? I love playing it at 2 players, and here's why. By the time you get to the 3rd round, right? There's 3 rounds. You're just drafting. Each set of dice does something differently. Like some allow you to reroll others. Others, it's just straight points. Others, like the white dice, the numbered dice you're trying to get in a consecutive order. But excuse me, then you have the green dice and stuff. What I love about this game at 2 players, by the end of the by the 3rd round, you've got like this mound of dice you're chucking, and it always in 2 players it takes me 2 hands to hold them all. It's so much fun to roll that many dice, folks, and it's like a 20-minute game, really easy to understand. But it's Michelle and I, we fell in love with this game thanks to our friend Slivers in chat. He gifted us a copy, and it's one of our most played games in the recent years. We love it so much. Thank you again, Slivers. That's my number 14 for December. And let's move on to number 13. Why is this button not working? There it is. Barenpark. Another one I played at PAX U with friends. And I mean, what else? Can we all say it together? Barenpark from Phil Walker Harding. Praise be. A masterpiece. Michelle and I here, we're actually playing, this one was a couple of years ago, we played the Bad News Bears expansion, which I always thought was such a funny name for it. Like, Barenpark, Bad News Bears, like, I immediately think about that, old movie with the kids playing baseball. But anyways, the base game is perfectly fine. I think it's wonderful, but I love the expansion as well, because you're building up. It's got a few more things you need to worry about. But at its heart, it's a tile laying game. You take one action to lay a tile, or take an action to take a tile. You're trying to fill up your little boards as you expand your bear park, and once you fill up every square except for one, you get the bonus points from the little bear statues. It's so adorable, and it's so good for a tile laying game that takes 30 minutes at most. And that's why we love Phil Walker Harding's designs. Just clean, elegant, streamlined, very easy to get to the table, and the games are like Sushi Go, stuff like Planted, this one, Barenpark, and others, Gizmos. Really, easy to get to the table because the rules don't take too long to grasp. And it's not too difficult to grasp, and they don't take too long to read. But with new gamers or casual gamers, get to the table, it's easy. And hardcore gamers like, ourselves, we tend to like them because they give us just enough above like just a gateway game. Always like Gateway Plus. I love Barenpark, one of my all-time favorite tile laying games. All right, moving right along, let's go on to our number 12. It is Sprawlopolis. Here's the solo challenge that we did, folks. If you're not part of the Discord, please join the Discord. You'll see the links below in this YouTube video. If you're watching this live with our friends in chat on Twitch, you can see the link right there in chat. Our Discord channel, thanks to our friends Legends and James, we host a bi-weekly-ish solo challenge. Sprawlopolis was one of them. It's one of my favorite solo games because it's 18 cards. It's tile or card laying, but you can like lay cards over each other, trying to get connect the different districts in your neighborhood together, depending on scorecards, the scoring conditions, which is so brilliant. I love this design. 18 cards with the different terrains. You flip them over. Each one has a different scoring condition. So at the start of each game, you just randomly, choose 3. That's what you're scoring, and then you put your, you play one card at a time. I played this. I played this at PAX U last month as I think a 3-player game, which was great. But I really enjoy this as solo. It's like the perfect type of solo type of game. So not only do you have the 3 scoring conditions, but you have the standard like objectives of trying to get you score the most of each neighborhood, like all the greens or all the parks. If you have like, your biggest area, you can score 1 point per. The blues, I think, I don't know if they're industry or whatever, you'll score that. So there's 4 different colors. So you'll always score those each game. But then the scoring conditions, as you see here in the video, they're going to give you different conditions as well. It's a brilliant design. Button Shy games, those are the wallet size games. They're all awesome. This is probably my favorite though. That is number 12, Sprawlopolis. Okay, let's move on to my number 11 for the month. Fantasy Realms. Folks, this is fun. So here's Rahdo's video of, he's looking over Fantasy Realms. This is funny. I've never played Fantasy Realms until PAX U. I've always wanted to play it. I just never had an opportunity. I really liked Red Rising, the sort of like the remix or the remake, the next evolution of Fantasy Realms, where Jamie Stegmaier took that and put it in the Red Rising, the whole series of books, and inspired by it, and he took that system and added a board and a bunch of other stuff. I think I like Fantasy Realms more. It is so streamlined and quick, but it's got a lot going on for just a simple card game, because you're playing cards, and the ones in your hand, there's different scoring conditions, so you're trying to match some of these up, but you're putting some on a tableau, and eventually when I think there's 10 out, the game just ends. So you can sort of, it's got sort of like that Lost Cities thing where you're trying to, if you want to extend the game, you play a certain card, or I think you draw from a deck instead of like drawing from the middle or vice versa. Oh, and some of these are so good because do you push your luck and try to get the perfect match to what you have in your hand, or do you sort of give that up and try to work on something else? So cards are all different values. So good. I want to shout out IT Omar Hernandez, our friend. He's in Discord and he's a regular viewer. He taught the game perfectly. I had a lot of fun with it, and I just knew after that first game this is an insta favorite for me. And I may or may not have ordered a copy right afterwards. It's so good. And if you haven't played it before, I highly recommend getting the app. They do have score sheets, but there's a lot of math at the end. Because there's a bunch of different combos, but the app does it perfectly. You just enter the cards and it shows you, does all the math for you, which I personally need. So that is Fantasy Realms. Hey, perfect ending for the video. Let's move on to the top 10. Here we go, folks. We're getting to the top 10 that I played last month. I'm going to hydrate real quick. If you're watching us on YouTube, Happy New Year. And if you're watching live, we're moving right on to number 10, Sushi Go Party Golf. We're just talking about sovereignty. Danny had me there for not only Dice Miner, but we also did a Sushi Go Party Golf game. It was like a tournament with a bunch of other content creators. A lot of fun, but I was blown away by how good this was. It's Sushi Go Party golf style. So Sushi Go Party, we all know, classic set collection by Phil Walker Harding. Praise be. Where you play a card and then you're going to collect sets, like different sushis. They're all scored differently. But here's the thing. In golf, you're trying to get the lowest score possible. So it just feels like a way more interactive game because you're trying to keep stuff that won't score you as many points as someone else. So you're giving away. Oh, I really like this. And, I talked to Grant Lyon and I think Danny Stranding. We were just talking afterwards how, like, we feel like we may just have to play Sushi Go, like, golf style from now on. It's such a fun variant. And I think if you go to, I don't know if Sovereignty has the rules up on BGG or someone has, you can find the rules there. I mean, it's basically Sushi Go Party, but you just play for the lowest score possible. It's not that difficult, but it totally changes the game. It's a lot of fun. When you saw it there, we played it on the Sovereignty app. Really cool implementation. I talked about that at Dice Miner as well. So good. Highly recommend. Give it a shot, folks. If you like Sushi Go or Sushi Go Party, give it a shot with this variant. Play it for the low score. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Okay, moving right along. Number 9, F.O.R.K. This is a brand new game. This is going to be out next or later this month on Kickstarter. I got a special preview. Actually, a bunch of us did at PAX Unplugged. Designer Tate Wu. He is also a Southern California guy. Good Good guy. Great designer. He designs a lot of games. This is his new one's coming. It's a trick-taking game. It's for our fox, owl, rabbit, kale. So that's the hierarchy. So foxes can eat owls, owls can eat rabbits, rabbits can eat kale. So what you're doing is trick-taking, but it's a little set collection as well. So as you play cards, you're trying to guess what cards people are playing, because you play it like a fox face face down. You play your cards face down, but if you play a kale, you're going to play it face up. So then you reveal at the same time, then foxes eat owls, owls eat rabbits. If the kale remains, somehow everyone else ate each other and you have a kale remaining, you take that in your hand, and it's a different type of scoring. You score based on how many kales you have. And then the foxes, owls, and rabbits, whoever wins those tricks, they have different point values. I think it's a race to 15 points. I may don't quote me on that, because I played at 4 players and also 2 players. Fun story. I actually, on the way home from PAX Unplugged, I ended up sitting next to, or across the aisle from Tate Wu. We didn't even know it was each other until about 20 minutes into the flight. I think I stood up or something to go to the restroom, or he did, and it was like, oh, Tate, Ruel, oh, hi. So we ended up talking, most of the flight. It was such a nice treat. And then in our layover at Phoenix, we ended up, playing, he taught me, or retaught me F.O.R.K. I'd played at PAX U, then he taught me the 2-player variant. Works perfect. I'm excited for this one. His games keep getting better and better, folks. If you have never played Promenade, which is now Art Deco, highly recommend that. This is a wonderful trick-taking game. Again, I don't know. I don't know if it's not as complex as like Cat in the Box, but I'm gonna tell you this. This is gonna get into more players' hands because the theme is super cute, like all his games are. But I think the rules are just so well done and just really clear, easy to understand, and you play it in like 15 minutes. Great game. Look for that on Kickstarter next month, folks. Okay, let's move on. We've got a number 8. Don't Get Got. This was my family game that we played during Christmas Eve. So my family, we always get together Christmas Eve, and this is one that I knew would be a big hit. This is like a meta game. This is a game that you play while you're doing other activities. Basically, everyone has a Don't Get Got wallet. And, this one's actually in a different language. That might be Espanol, I believe. I don't know. There's got to be videos. Let's see if they got some videos here. I just pulled up the BGG page. There's video. Oh, hey, there's our friends Monique and Naveen again. They're playing in. Were they playing in? I don't know where they were playing. Okay, but they're talking. Oh, Essen. That's where they're playing, in Essen Spiel. So basically, everyone's got a little Don't Get Got wallet. You have secret missions. You're trying to get, I think you get 5 or 6 missions, but you're trying to complete 3. And they're so silly and they're so much fun. It was such a big hit with my family. I knew it would be. I'm so glad I brought it. So missions are like, hey, try to get someone to, say the same word 3 times in a row. Or, just really random things. Like my sister-in-law or my niece got my sister-in-law good. Like, hey, get someone to hug you. So, my sister-in-law's like, oh, my daughter's, wants a hug, so much love. And then my niece is like, you got. And she showed it. So she gets, 1 point out of the 3 that she's supposed to get. Then my sister-in-law got her back. It was like her mission was try to get someone to call you on your cell phone or whatever, or text you or something. So, my sister-in-law got my niece to do it, and she came running out of the room. You got. Oh, it's the best. It's such a good feeling. My nephew ended up winning. He got me twice, actually, and with his little mission. So really fun party game. It's the perfect convention game. Like you can see Monique and Naveen played it at Essen. It is like the perfect convention game because, all the you got a bunch of people, you're playing games. You could have this going on at any time. It's just, you just have it in your pocket and you're trying to do these little missions and you're trying to trick people. Love it so much. I played with my buddy Daryl on his birthday a couple of years ago. We had a great time. Highly recommend. One of my all-time favorite party games. That's number 8, Don't Get Got. Okay, moving right on to number 7. We talked about this a little bit during the earlier part of the live stream here on Twitch. But YouTube, folks, you don't get to see that. You have to watch it live. But anyways, we're talking about boop. And that's how I like to say it. Boop. An abstract game with the cutest theme ever. Your kitties and cats jumping on a bed. Anytime you place one of your kitties or cats on the bed, adjacent kitties or cats, even your own or your opponents, 2-player game. They jump one space over. So either diagonally, orthogonally, whatever. Now, the kitties, if you get 3 kitties in a row, they graduate to cats. And that's what you want, because you get, if you put 3 kitties in a row, you take those out of the game, you add 3 cats to your supply. If you can get 3 cats in a row, you win. That's it. That's the game. It's tic-tac-toe on steroids, or it's tic-tac-toe the next level for gamers. It's so good. Michelle and I very, very impressed with this. We're, you know, I'd seen a preview of it at Gen Con, and then at PAX Unplugged, it was all the rage. It totally sold out. Thankfully, you know, thanks, I got a copy, and it was love at first play. This is very easy to understand. It's going to be a big hit. I think they're sold out right now. They're going to get new copies in the next month or 2, but it's going to be a big hit because it's very easy to get to the table. I've talked about this a few times during this list, how easy it is to get games that don't have a ton of rules overhead, you know, that you got to worry about. This is one of them. Plays so smoothly, so quickly, and love it. It's super, super cute. Yeah. So I'm going to take another sip. Oh, by the way, folks, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know what's cool about doing a live stream? We get people like Nicole Brady, whose husband Scott was the one that designed the game. Yeah. So we've got someone in chat right now confirming that they sold out the entire run in 2.5 weeks. That's how fired up people were about this game, and I am excited that I have my copy. Folks, be sure to check it out. It's wonderful, and that's why it's my number 7 for December. All right, and hi, Gen Cam Plays Games. Good to see you here. I'm going to move on to my number 6, Ducks in Tow. Did I say number 6? I meant number 6. Number 6, Ducks in Tow. Where is it? I don't have it here, so I'm going to search for it right now. YouTube, Ducks in Tow. This was a sponsored preview that I did with Stephanie over at First Fish Games. This game, so we just talked about how cute it was and how, you know, just abstract cute, but a lot better, or a lot deeper than you think. This game, same thing. I like Ducks in Tow. My brain was hurting by the end. It was so much more crunchy than I thought. I love the spatial element to it, trying to line up all your ducks in tow in a row. But then the expansion, the slugs and bugs, it took it to the next level, folks. So like you got extra asymmetric abilities, not only for yourself, but on the ducks that you bring in. It's super, again, the theme is adorable. You are just walking around, ducks, you're feeding the ducks, they follow you around, and as you can see, the little piece, you have your little meeple, and you literally add the ducks to your, you know, little carriage or whatever, and you're walking around, and then it's pick 'em and delivery, but with set collection. Wonderful game. This just funded at the last minute on Kickstarter. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for First Fish, because this game deserves to be played by more players. Don't let the cute theme fool you, and it's got art by Andrew Bosley, one of those artists that just their art, I mean, stuff like Tapestry, Everdale. Oh my gosh, his art is gorgeous, and don't get fooled by this one. This is a lot crunchier than I think, and that's why it's my number 6 for the month, Ducks in Tow. All right, coming on down to the top 5, folks. Good stuff. Thank you for joining me today. Number 5, Hickory Dickory. This is another paid preview that I did. Now, I soloed this game. And here's the thing. I like the solo game. I thought it was well done. I didn't love it. But here's the reason why I ranked it so high. Again, full disclosure, this was a paid preview. But here's the thing. This game is going to rock. Like, rock around the clock. Get it? It's going to rock multiplayer. Because I really love this worker placement mechanism. You literally put your little cute little mice workers on the minute hand, and it's going to move over, and you could knock over other workers, and you can jump back on the minute hand. It's literally got this thing about timing, right? The theme, again, I'm playing, there's a lot of adorable themes, you know, cute themes I'm playing this month. But this one really, worker placement game, and you're trying to, you know, collect the different sets that you're trying to, it's like a scavenger hunt for the owl. I forgot the owls, or the cuckoo guy or whatever. But as you do that, you've got the spatial element as well. So you can see in the left corner there, hopefully, yeah, you can see it. On your player board, the things that you collect go on that board. If you can get them lined up in columns and rows, you're going to get even more points. There's ways to score, during the game. It's like this nice little like slow, at least in the solo game, nice little slow build up where you're trying to, get your workers out. You have 3 workers, but you can unlock a 4th. Each one has a different carrying capacity. So, excuse me. Some of them can only carry like 2 items. The big guy, he can carry, I think, 5 items. So you're trying to collect these items in a row, and you're going to be blocking other workers. But here's the thing. You can also go up the cuckoo clock. It's a race to get more points based on, as you see, I'm pointing there. You get that going up there, you're going to get more points. If your first one there, you get the most points, like 9. The second one's going to get 7, and so forth. And then you have wild tiles that can play. Oh, gosh, this was so good from Plaid Hat Games, folks. I want to play this multiplayer. I only played it solo a couple of times. That's how I did my live stream. I was going to play it with Michelle recently, but unfortunately, it's funny, it's a clock, but we just didn't have time to play it this one day. But the components, top notch, highly recommend. This is Hickory Dickory from Plaid Hat Games. Okay, moving right along is number 4. Boom, Dog Park. Now, this is a lighter game than Hickory Dickory, but you know what? I had to include this. Here's the Rahdo run-through that Michelle and I did. Come on, folks. It's all about theme. Doggos. Then they have a pug. You had me at pug, folks. It's a game of collecting dogs. So you're a dog walker. You're competing against other dog walkers. You're doing this cool thing with bidding, where you're going to bid your victory points to bring dogs into your kennel, and then eventually take them on a walk, and you try to collect different resources to allow you to get more dogs. And then the different dogs that you collect in your kennel, depending on its variable setup, depending on which ones are the highest value breed, you're going to get victory points on that. We enjoyed this game so much. I would call it a Gateway Plus game. So if you're looking for a heavier game, Hickory Dickory is the one for you. But we're dog people, and they had us at pug. Come on, they had a pug. And here's the thing. The first edition game, the pug was a black pug, which we love. We love all pugs. But then they included in the first edition variants for 4 different cards. It was like, I think it was like I don't know if it was a Great Dane or something. So anyways, they had variant art cards. One of them was a pug. So the pug that they put the variant was a fawn. It looked like our pugs, Mookie and Meeple. So of course they won us over that. But folks, it is a rock solid game. I really love this one. You bid on the dogs, get them in your kennels, take them for a walk, and you're gonna walk along. And 4 rounds, it's wonderful. So I highly recommend this. I recommend a bunch of these things, but this one, if you're a dog person, I feel like if you're a dog person, it's a must-have. All right, going to our top 3, friends. And hi, Time Roller, thanks for joining us. Top 3 games that I played last month. Number 3, Empires, and I love John D. Clare games, straight up. Just Mystic Vale, Space Base, Cubitos, Dead Reckoning. The list goes on, folks. This is the latest and greatest. This was funded at the end of last year through Brotherwise Games. So he's gotten away from. I'm sure he still works with the AEG, but that's where I know most of his games from. This one's from Brotherwise, who've done wonderful games like Overboss and that whole line of Boss Monster and stuff like that. The way I explain this, and I think this is an apt description, it's like Space Base, where you have this tableau of like these Space Base sized cards, but it's got no thanks into it. So sort of like a reverse auction. If you don't want a card, you put a chip there, and it keeps going around until there's a point where like, okay, I got to take that card, but you're going to get chips, and that those resources allow you to buy other things later. But here's the thing. This is about the end of an empire. You each have your empires, so you're going to be destroying parts of them, and you're going to flip them over. So you're trying to keep, your empire alive and going, because some of them, as you improve them, they're going to give you more resources or let you do things in later rounds. It's a snappy game. You see the board there at the top. That's just going to tell you which era you're in. So you go through a bunch of different eras. It plays so quickly. I think it's a wonderful design. I got to see it earlier last year at Dice Tower West, and I was like, ooh, you got John D. Clare. And I was talking to Johnny from Brotherwise Games. I said, wait, you've got John D. Clare and Quan Chai Moria working together? artist, designer, like, that's a winning combo, folks. I was like, yeah, tell me all about it. And sure enough, we did again, full disclosure, it was a paid preview. Michelle, Daryl, and I played it, loved it. It's gonna be another hit for John DeClaire. What can I say? I love his games, and I think you would too. So that's my number 3 last month, Empire's End. All right, top 2, folks. This is it. This is it. Number 2, Splendor Duel. No surprise here. So we just played this the other day for Tabletop Live Network. Michelle, oh, there's Mookie sleeping right there. Look at it. Oh, he was sleeping while we were playing. Look at that. Splendor Duel takes everything you love about Splendor and ramps it up for the 2-player experience. We still like base game Splendor. Wonderful game. Engine building, it's a lot of people's. It was my introduction to engine building. But boy, Splendor Duel. Bruno Cathala took Marc-André's design just like he did with when he redesigned or designed Seven Wonders Duel with Antoine Baza. He's made the game better. Just in every aspect of the gameplay. You now have 3 win conditions. You can win by 20 points rather than 15 points in the base game. But there's also crowns on certain cards. You get 10 crowns, you win. And then there's a special way to win as well. A third way, which I don't think I've won yet, but maybe I have. I've won with crowns. I've won with 20 points. No, I don't think I've won with the third way, which is color. So if you have, you have the different gem colors. If you get 10 points in one color, win. So there's 3 different ways to win. Great way to do it. But here's the thing. The gems, rather than just picking whatever gems you want, like in OG Splendor, you have this board of gems that are randomly placed there, and you can take 3 in a row, or you can take 1 gold and reserve a card, just like in normal Splendor. So you're going to be taking chips off and gems off, and then when you use them to buy cards, you're going to put those in a bag. And at some point, one of you or your opponent's going to have to say, hey, I need to replenish. It's a free action, but you give your opponent a privilege token. The privilege token later allows you to just spend a privilege token as a free action, and you can just take 1 token off the board for free, except a gold one. That's not allowed, but. Friends, I love Splendor Duel. It's one of my favorite games of 2022. Michelle loved it too. We played it plenty of times. And it's funny because when we did Tabletop Live Network the other day, we hadn't played it for like a month or so, but since we had gotten back from the Airbnb, and we're like, had to do a rules refresh, and then it's like, oh man, this is why we love this game so much. It's going to be a mainstay. And actually, I'm going to keep Splendor because I think that's a better introduction to new players. But once they've played it, if they really like it, then I'm saying, okay, now I'm going to blow your mind. We're going to play Splendor Duel because it's even better. It's my number 2 game from December. It's awesome. And you know what's awesome? My number 1 game. This was a surprise to me. It's a game that I've always wanted to play, and I'm so glad I got to get a copy of it. I bought it during the sale at Hollandspiel. It is Heading Forward by John Dubois. Hollandspiel, folks. The Rahdo, I've done this for the Rahdo channel. This is the Rahdo run through, and the way Richard talked about it later, he had described it as like, hey, if a game could be a work of art, this may be it. These type of games, and I didn't say that in my final thoughts, but the more I thought about it, that's a good point. When do you find, where's that fine line between just a game per se and a work of art? Because this is really close for me, because what you're doing in Heading Forward, you are recovering from a traumatic brain injury. The design of the game, it's based on his own personal experience dealing with this. It's a card-based hand management, resource management game. And you're playing cards one at a time from your hand. You start with 3. And as you develop skills, there's skills in 4 different areas. The goal of the game is to fully develop 3 skills, one in 3 different areas. And that's how you win the game. It's a really interesting story, an interesting, discussion that comes from this game, because the number of rounds that you play, in this case, the normal level is 12. That is the number of days or whatever that your insurance is giving you to get through your rehab. So it's a critique on the American, healthcare system as well. I found this so engaging. The gameplay is pretty straightforward. It's hand management, resource management. You play cards. You either use it for a resource or you play it. In order to play, you have to use pay for it with resources. If you discard it, that's fine too. But here's the thing: as you're developing your skills, you're improving them. You're going to turn them over. You know, there are multi-use cards, so you turn it over from level 1 to level 2. And if you get to level 3, you're going to discard the level 2 out of the game, and there's a level 3 that it comes in. As you play those, you're going to continue trying to develop to level 4 and then complete level 4. That's a ton of resources. But here's the thing: anytime you discard a card without using it for a resource or playing it, that card is going to atrophy. So those skills atrophy. So it's going to, flip over to the lower level. As you see in the video here, there's a random trigger that's added to every game. You just randomly choose one skill, and that skill is out of the game. It's a trigger. So for instance, if, maybe your traumatic injury was due to a car accident, and the trigger might be, some automotive thing. The skills you're trying to learn are, things to, based on different abilities, whether you can go shopping again. How do you manage money? Can you, your endurance, how's that? How are your relationships with your family? So these are all different skills you're trying to build, and it really hits hard thematically, because you're going to have, I would imagine, I've not had a brain injury, but I would imagine you have support from family, friends, and doctors, your, healthcare staff. But in the end, you're in it, you're doing this alone, right? It's up to you. Can your skills, can you rehab your skills to the point where you can function again in your personal and your, in society? Gosh, this was good. The resources, as you can see there are spoons. That's that whole metaphor of like, do I have the spoons to do this today? My physical and mental energy. The money, there is money involved. Healthcare costs money. You're going to eventually upgrade your skills to where you have better cognitive ability, and that's represented in the game by the number of cards you drop around. You start with 3 because it's very low because you're still healing, but as the game progresses, wow, now I can my brain is functioning a little better. I can draw 4 cards, 5 cards, 6 cards. This is an awesome game. It's a solo game and one of the best games. I was such a surprise. I've been following Hollandspiel for a while, and this theme really reached out to me, and then I started hearing some of the reviews. Early reviews were really good. I did not expect it to be that great. I loved it. So that's why it's my number 1 heading forward. And friends, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And let me know in the comments below what your favorite games were in December. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.